What is going on, Alpha Hunters? Hope everybody is having a terrific Thursday. We are seeing some pretty good bullishness on the market. We've had 2 days back to back here. We've gapped up pretty good. I can see yesterday's price action on Wednesday. Nice gap up there on Wednesday. We kind of just faded down the whole day, especially towards the end of the day there on Wednesday. And then Thursday, nice gap up as well. Gapped up roughly 0.5% or so. Kind of choppy, a little bit of a pullback there to start out the day. First 30 minutes, and then second 30 minutes, nice little pop there on the SPY. Haven't gone much higher than that first hour, but it's been a little choppy along the way. Nice little pullback there in the second hour. Then we kind of rode back up to the daily highs, sitting right around that 458.5 level. And yeah, that's what's going on with the SPY. Taking a look at the Qs. Qs have been a little bit more bullish today. They definitely gapped up a little bit higher, about 0.75%, about 0.8% of a gap up there on the Qs. You can see definitely a little bit more of a grind higher first half of the day. A little bit of sideways action here for the past 2 hours, though. All right. IWM, a little bit of a gap up, sold off initially. Got back positive. Not really doing a whole lot there on the IWM, up 0.6% from the close of yesterday, though. DIA, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, nice gap up, kind of pulled back here pretty good. Start the day, got negative a couple times there in the first 2 hours. Nice little run it had into the middle part of the day. Even hitting highs here in the past 20 minutes. Highs of the day. So, okay. Looking pretty good there on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The RSP never got negative. Didn't get negative here. Nice gap up, but pulled back. And it popped pretty good there after that first 20 minutes. Yeah, first hour. Quick pullback there in the first 20, then ripped higher. That was basically the highs of the day there, all in that first hour. Yeah, just kind of... pretty good pullback there and a slowly chopped higher. Trying to get back up to those highs of the day. Kind of up in that area, but not quite taking them out yet. RSP, not looking too bad here. It's starting to form out pretty good. Definitely got above this downtrending line. I'm sure a lot of people were kind of watching. Now we got it through it once, and we came back through it. So I'm not really a big like a trend type of person. I'm more of like a lateral price level type of person. So we're gonna have some pretty important price levels kind of coming up. We do have a pretty important price level where we kind of paused here on the RSP back on Monday. That's kind of where we topped out. It's where we topped out here back in late August, early September, and then we rolled over, continued the rollover, I guess, from the highs of July here on the RSP. So okay. I guess if we do push a little bit higher, we're going to have a high right here where this wick is, around 452.5, 453. And then obviously the big one back over here, like, if I said 452, I meant 152. Up here, this top here around, late July, around 156. So that'll be a big one, because to me, that'll be a change of direction. Right, as you can see, we clearly have tops at that level, and we took out the previous low. So if we come and take out these highs here, then we would have a higher high, maybe above that level. So if we do come up to like 160, that could be a nice little change of trend where it's no longer lower lows, lower highs. Now we would have a higher high type situation. Now I'm not saying that we wouldn't pull back. We probably would have a pretty significant pullback, probably be pretty deep, but I doubt we would get back to this level of around 134. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the RSP sets up, the equal weight SP 500, because I'm a much bigger believer that the 98% of the stocks in the SP 500 are going to be outperforming that 2%, right? That top 10 or so stocks, you know, the Magnificent Seven, all that kind of stuff. They just have such a large weighting. I also think AI is getting. Uh, I think people are just investing in AI kind of wrong currently. I think they're just kind of missing how AI is really going to the investment opportunity AI is really going to present. Anyways, the Dow Jones. So, kind of just looking back here, a little bit larger perspective here. Kind of like with the RSP, we do have highs, you know, that set in late last year, right? Late last year, back in December, and then we had this low, and we came and made a new high here in July, and then we came and, oops, I just hit the button like 3 times there. We came and took out these lows. I thought this was going to be pretty significant. I thought once we took out these lows, and really it was these lows, and we did kind of flush down. But I thought it would be game on, and it was that way for about that 2 weeks after a retest. But we never got back down to this level, and we bottomed. So, and you know, we're clearly making a new high here. So the Dow Jones, the DIA, looking very good. I would just imagine we'd probably have some kind of pullback here over the next, sometime here over the next few months, and it's going to be a pretty good investing opportunity to probably be into the Dow Jones, the DIA, that kind of stuff. IWM, man, IWM's it's been so sideways. I mean, look at this. I mean, we're here at the end of 2023, and we've been down here in this choppy zone for, I mean, since last June, so nearly a year and a half. I mean, we've been down. You know, we've hit highs up around 200, 201, 198 area. We've hit that level 3 times. The last time we kind of got up in that area was early August. And we've come down to the lows that we've been in that trading range, you know, around 164 to, you know, we've hit a low around 162. We've hit that 3 times. So other than that, it's been just chopping sideways. You know, you see how much it's chopped sideways in here on the IWM. Now, the interesting thing is I really thought this was the buying opportunity, right, on the IWM as we were breaking down the lows of last year. You know, we were kind of talking about that throughout the summer months as we were kind of, or early Q3, I guess, as we were selling down. I was like, hey, watch out when we come down. I just really thought we would get all the way down to 160, but, you know, didn't happen. But I really liked that buying opportunity. I thought that was a great spot to be buying into it. We definitely have lower highs, and you can see lower highs through these 3 highs. They're actually a little bit lower over the past year and a half. So we still have trending lower because we actually have still lower lows over that time period as well over the past year and a half on the IWM. So on this move higher, are we going to make a run and take out this downtrending, very subtle downtrending line, and maybe even take out some of the recent highs that we put in over the past year, or at least this calendar year? I think that'd be interesting. Right now, it's just kind of in the middle of no man's land. It's been a lot of chop in this area. I mean, if you're looking like longer term, like years out, like this is going to be a great spot to be buying. Like this is a great basing area here for the past year and a half. If we do roll over, it'll be short-lived. It'll be an opportunity just to add at lower price levels. But I think this is going to be a great spot long term to be adding to the IWM if you have IWM positions. The Qs ripping today, up 1.5%. I just don't like it. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Price action. Obviously, the summer months, man, they were just extremely bullish. We've taken out that summer high here over the past couple weeks. We haven't really gone anywhere. That's That is one thing. We did pull back roughly last week. We had a pretty good pullback. I'll zoom in here. Last week and early part of this week did pull back a little bit. We didn't feel any gaps really. Just kind of pulled back into the moving averages that we were pretty well extended away from. But you know, maybe we do make a run up to that all-time high level that we had back in November of 2021. So it's been 2 years since we've hit all-time highs. Maybe we do. You gotta like the consolidation we've put in here over the past like 2-3 weeks here, and maybe we do pop out of here. And we probably, if we do pop out of here and we don't roll over, we probably do just make a very fast run up to all-time high levels. It'd be interesting to see what happens at that point in time. SPY. How's this sucker looking? So SPY made a very rapid run, just like all the other averages, up to that late July high, early August high. And SPY hasn't really gone anywhere. It actually did take out that high. We actually do have a little bit of a higher high from that July high, but nothing crazy. And it is going to be very interesting because we get some very important data tomorrow, which is one reason why I'm actually really surprised that the market is, as strongly moved as it is today, whether it's bullish or bearish. I'm just, especially to the bullish side, because tomorrow morning we're going to non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate, and both of those are going to be very important. So employment rate ticks up maybe to 4.1%, maybe 4%. I'm not saying it is. I'm not going to expect it will. I mean, right now the market is expecting it to stay steady from what it was last month at 3.9%. But it has been increasing over market expectations over the past couple months. So that's where, like, if the market's expecting 3.9%, I could definitely see it come in at 4.1, because it has been coming a little bit higher than what the market's been expecting. So yeah, we'll see. We definitely haven't gotten above these highs that we had in March of 22, April of 22. And, that might be another one where a lot of people are kind of sitting with stop losses. And if we get above that one, there's not much in a way of kind of support and resistance to get back up to those all-time high levels. So that's kind of, didn't really want to run down on the past 2 years of these 5 major averages, but it's always good to get that perspective of, kind of where are we, and just kind of look back a little bit. So this chart pattern looks pretty good. Obviously, we hit on it a little bit to start. That we had back-to-back days of pretty good gap ups, but we still haven't even on the SPY gotten above yesterday's high on that gap up, even though the SPY's up pretty good. So looking pretty good there on the SPY. The VIX. Man, that definitely does look inverse. Inverse the SP 500. What's kind of interesting, the VIX is up a little bit today when the SPY is also up pretty good. And if I remember correctly, before we really started selling down, if I remember correctly, there was a time period back in August when right before we really started selling down, we saw the market actually kind of tick higher quite a bit, and we saw the VIX also go higher, and then we started seeing some bearishness come in. I don't remember exactly what day, but I remember seeing that. So I was like, that's kind of interesting. So maybe we'll start to see some bearishness come in. We'll see. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a big determinant, so I just want to see what everything's kind of looking like before we get to tomorrow. So the dollar dropping off pretty good. Look at that move. All right. Something happened here a couple hours ago. I mean, rapid sell-off there on the dollar. Because I looked at this morning. It wasn't down this much. Maybe it just kept selling down and kind of flushed out there. So DXY. Now, one thing I was kind of watching this morning on the DXY is you possibly have like a little bit of a inverted head and shoulder with a shoulder there, neckline, head. You got come back to that neckline, and here we come down to that shoulder again. So if we start to see that, if that was just coming down to that shoulder spot, I mean, this could set up a pretty nice inverted head and shoulders type action there on the DXY, which, we know DXY going higher, dollar going higher is not good for equities, but there are times where both can go higher. It's kind of surprising to see gold not doing much, especially with how much the dollar's down. So, okay. We do know that gold absolutely ripped it last week, especially start this week. They actually had a very strong, crazy pop here. If you look at the futures, crazy pop there. So, I think it'll come back down a little bit more, but I don't think that's a reversal in any meaningful way. Like I don't think we're gonna get back down to like 1800 or below 1900 any significant way. So, anyways, that's just kind of my thoughts on the old GLD gold 10-year yield. Nice upper wick. Looks like we'll probably just go a little bit lower maybe tomorrow. And it might happen pretty rapidly tomorrow. It might just flash down and then bounce as we get the jobs data tomorrow. 10-2 inversion. Let's see, 10-2 inversion moving up a little bit. So the 2-year yield not doing well. Whoops, missed the button there. So yeah, 2-year yield's down a little bit. Okay. So 2-year yield looks like it wants to break down, but it hasn't been moving down like, the longer terms have. 10-year yield's been moving down all throughout the week. 2-year kind of not really sideways. All right, HYG popping a little bit higher today. All right, popping a little bit higher today. LQD continued to move higher. All right, TLT moving higher a little bit. Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? Let's take a look at sector rotation. How is sectors doing today? So, it looks like Meta or Facebook, or not Meta or Facebook. Facebook is now Meta. Or Alphabet is doing really good today. You can see the XLC's up 2.3%. So, something positive happened there with Alphabet or Meta. So, we'll take a look at that. XLK Tech is doing pretty good today. Outperformers. So those are the two outperforming sectors on the day. Makes sense. You see the Q's up. So you figure big tech is leading the day. XLY also doing pretty good on the day, even though they are underperforming. Those are the top 3 sectors for the day. Staples, materials, financials, utilities, real estate, industrials, and healthcare all underperforming. And energy is the biggest underperformer on the day. All right. So we've seen energies over the past couple of days really get hit pretty good since a nice little reversal candle from about 4 or 5 trading days ago. XLC, yeah, I mean, you see intraday price performance. This is taking out the gap. You see energies are really underperforming during the day. Energy is really getting hit. Industrials also underperforming. Healthcare, discretionaries, financials, materials, and real estate all underperforming on the intraday. Staples, utilities, tech, and communications all outperforming. Okay. Take a look at one thing real quick. How is the sentiment survey? I'm imagining it's... Oh! Came down a little bit from the bullishness. Bearishness picked up. Wow. Bearishness. Look at that move on bearishness sentiment survey. Okay, so that's interesting. So yeah, we did have a little bit of a drop on bullishness, and bearishness really picked up. Okay.